Welcome in to the Subconscious Mind Mastery Podcast. Thomas Miller here, and we're releasing this on Sunday as part of our Sunday series of meditations. But we're going to listen to the second part of the interview with Caroline Horne. For the last 3 years, Caroline has been doing Akashic Records readings, and we kind of turned the tables a little bit and asked, what about the collective? Of course, the Akashic Records being a storehouse of all combined soul knowledge and information in one, if you will, essence library. What would be stored in there about where we are in the collective right now? Interesting question. Well, Caroline's answer in the last episode was that we are to hold our highest ground. We are to hold our highest timeline. In essence, she was saying that if we are not in the conflicts in the world that we're seeing around us today, and we still have the ability to live a relatively untouched life, to use that to send the love and light and peace to the world. In other words, we've been given this gift. How we use it needs to be for the collective good, not only for ourselves. So in this part 2 of that interview, we're going to talk about some ways to put some feet to that. Some great ideas from Caroline on things that we can do to be a positive light in today's world.
The more people who are deciding, I want to live in peace and love, and I'm not going to feed the negative energy, that we're going to pull more people with us. Like you get more people in the 450, you start pulling people in the 3 and 350s up with you. We're pulling people up with our energy. And there's still going to be people that want to fight. They're trapped in their 3D-ness, in their very dense 3D humanness, and they think they have to do it by force. And so there will be the force people that are putting out there. But I feel like the power is going to be more powerful. The love power, the peace power. The people are saying enough. Those peaceful protesters are saying enough. We don't want war. We just want to love, and we want to live in peace and harmony. And there is no reason for any of this. There's no reason for any. And we're all coming to this realization. We've felt it, we've known it, but now it's like we're going to live it. And the more people who are living that, we're pulling people up that are in the lower vibrations with us. There's the teachers, the educators, but even if you're just sitting in your home all by yourself, meditating and praying and sending out love, you're pulling people with you. You don't have to be out there on a podcast. You don't have to be out there on stage. You don't have to be out there doing, if you're not an extrovert, you can do it from your home by yourself. You can do it within your community. Like I mentioned, donating, doing something kind for somebody. I like to leave what are called little, one of my girlfriends, she started this Instagram called Spontaneous Halos. And she writes a little note on a card that says Spontaneous Halos. And then she leaves some sort of nice gift, whether it's a bouquet of flowers or a gift card from Starbucks or a little treat or something. And it just is like, I don't know who you are, but I just want you to have a beautiful day and know that you're loved, and just sending little. And so I love doing those. And I share them on my Instagram page all the time. If I'm doing it and I'm sharing it, maybe other people think that's a great idea. I'm going to do it too. And you don't have to share it on your social media. You could just give somebody a nice gift and nobody has to know about it except for that person. But again, it's that butterfly flapping its wings in the universe, and that's going to spread. They're going to be like, oh, that was so nice. Maybe I'll do something nice for somebody too. Or maybe they just are kinder to the people they meet the rest of the day, the people they engage with the rest of the week. And they're like, oh, this is so nice. It could have been something as simple as a granola bar. Like I like to leave the little kind bars. I keep some in my car, and I'll hand them to like the homeless people that are standing like begging for food or money, and I'll just give them a kind bar. It's like that. It's kind, but just doing those little things throughout your community, massive impact beyond what you'll ever know. And if you ever listen to like near-death experience stories, they'll talk about like the things that they showed me, this kind little thing I did for the cashier at the store. I didn't realize how impactful that was to them. Or this nice thing I did I didn't even realize I was being so nice, but I got to see how that energy spread beyond just that one little thing that I did for somebody.
Would you say the summary of this is, regardless of what happens around us, the summary is for us to be living our very best with everything that we can do, everything we've been gifted, like truly highest timeline?
Yeah. If your life is pleasant and joyful, live in the gratitude and experience the joy and the peace and the happiness that you're living, that you've been gifted. Because we are all going to go through hardships. And eventually, when your hardship comes, you're going to need other people, instead of feeling sorry for you, living their highest so that their energy brings you out of it. And if you've been at your lowest, know that the people living in a joyful place where that energy was helping bring you out, and be grateful for all of that they did. Yes, just knowing, like, living from a place of joy and a place of love and a place of happiness. And you can still have sympathy and empathy and concern for others while living your fullest and happiest life.
So it's our response to whatever the situation is. That's the key.
Your energy is the key.
Yeah.
One of the stories I like to tell, I started doing the Akashic records. I started getting into spirituality like 5 or 6 years ago. And I started doing the Akashic records 3 years ago. And during that first year of my Akashic records, I wasn't really excited about my job, and things weren't going great. But I was just like, where am I right now? I'm good. I've got a roof over my head. I've got lots of food in the fridge. I'm doing well. I've got a healthy dog. I'm happy and healthy. Like, things could be better, but I'm really good. Like, I'm just gonna like live in a place of like, things are good. And I trust that if they need to get better, they'll get better. And if this is how they're supposed to stay, I'm okay with how they are. I'm taken care of. I am provided for. And I'm just living in this, I'm still trying to manifest more abundance, and I'm manifesting more health, and I'm doing all these things, but I'm living in the place of like, I am grateful for where I am. So even if I just stay here, God bless it. Keep me here. This is fine. And if something bad happens, I trust that it's for my highest and best good. Well, something did happen. I got laid off. Well, like I was saying, I wasn't super in love with that job anyway, and I wasn't making a great amount of money anyway. But I was like, I allowed myself to be frustrated and angry and disappointed because I put so much time and effort and energy into that job. I'm in sales. So when you're building your business, it's like when you lose your job, you're like, no, my business, I just spent all this time building it. I wallowed in my frustration and my anger and my disappointment for about 20 minutes. And I was like, no, this isn't helpful. I just snapped myself out of it. And I'm like, I don't like this feeling. I don't like that I'm feeling angry. I don't like wallowing. You know what? This is the situation. What can I do next? What is my priority right now? I don't want to lose that business. Why don't I just take that business with me somewhere else? So my mentality was like, instead of wallowing in the disappointment and being laid off, I'm like, no, we're done doing that now. We're going to solution now. What's the solution? Here's the problem. I want to keep this. Where's my solution? I just need to find another job to bring this business to. And I immediately went to another business, and that business didn't work out, or that other company that I took it to, it didn't work out. I was there for 2 weeks with my accounts, and I was like, guys, we got to get out of here. I found a different one. And I had to shift it all again 2 weeks later. But the one that I went to 2 weeks later, I've been with this company now for 2.5 years. I've never had a better job. I've never had a better bosses. And there's still the regular frustrations of working with others and frustrations of business and things not working out as smoothly as you want them. I've never had a job where things just work and it's just smooth. And my income keeps increasing and increasing. And every day I wake up grateful for my job and grateful for my bosses and grateful for all of my accounts, and knowing that I'm where I'm supposed to be. But had I just sat in that place of stewing and anger and bitterness, I wouldn't have gotten to the solution. And the solution needed to happen quickly, because otherwise I would have lost all of that business and all of those accounts. But instead of wallowing, I said, nope, I'm going to go to solution and I'm going to keep my vibration high. This happened for a reason. And maybe because this place I wasn't going anywhere over here. And if I transition my business over here, I can actually take it somewhere and actually grow bigger and faster, which is exactly what happened. I trusted that everything that was happening for me and not to me. And that's what I mean by like staying in your highest vibration. When I'm in the kind of a really low point of losing your job, I allowed myself to sit in that low energy for 20 whole minutes. And I was like, nope. But I had been practicing not doing that. I had been practicing over that previous year. Anytime I got low, I'm like, nope, we're going high. I don't like this. Nope, I don't want to be in this energy. I'm shifting. I'm going to put on high vibrational frequency music. I'm going to put on a high vibrational podcast. I don't want to be low. And so when a low spot hit me, I was like, nope, I don't want to be low. You're shifting. So do that. If you feel like you're in a low place and you're having a hard time shifting out of it, force yourself, recognize you're there, say, I don't like this feeling. I'm going to shift myself out of it. Put your frequency music on, go into your sewing room, go into your painting room, listen to a podcast that uplifts you, whatever you need to do to shift your energy, because shifting your energy is going to be what helps you and helps everyone else. I did have another thing. I mentioned this in the Facebook page. Somebody was, she lives in Israel, and she was talking about how do I, change my energy. And one of the most recent techniques that I did was I was in a really low spot. I don't even remember why I was just feeling down. I was feeling gross. I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling just bummed. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to go do a spontaneous halo. Like I just planned for the next hour. I'm like, I'm going to go write my card. I'm going to find a nice quote. I'm going to go buy the flowers. I'm going to buy the snack. I'm going to find the right car and I'm going to put it on there. And then I sat in my car and I was kind of a distance away so I could watch the person get their spontaneous halo, and kind of, sometimes they're weirded out, but I know eventually they're like, oh, this is really cool. This is really nice. Sometimes their face lights up and sometimes they're just like, what is this? Was this for me? Sometimes they're like, do I have a creepy stalker stalking me? But then once they kind of see and like read the note and they realize it's just something nice, a random nice thing. Yeah. It's always nice. I don't always watch the person's face, but it was like, that was what I needed that day, was to do something fun and sweet and nice and kind and thoughtful for somebody else. And like, it just fully shifted I was no longer bummed. I was no longer in a bad vibe. I was like, okay, I feel good now, because I was not focusing on myself. I was putting my energy and focusing on doing something good for somebody else.
That's awesome. And so
even
powerful.
Talking about it right up. It's like, I love, yeah. Can't figure out a way to get out of your slump, man, go do something for somebody else. That is the fastest way. I'm telling you, it's an easy way.
Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this and for doing something a little bit unusual. I know you've probably never done the world before. Thank
you for having me. I love doing these with you. So please, I'm happy to come back anytime you ask. Yeah. The beautiful thing about being in the Akashic records is the vibration that I get from them, I get to share out with all of you and everybody who's listening, sharing this with you, Thomas. We're literally, the visualization I just feel, and if your listeners are listening to this, they can visualize it. Maybe they're feeling a little tingly. Maybe they're feeling a little lighter. Maybe if they had an ache or a pain that was bothering them, maybe they haven't been feeling that while listening to this podcast. And that's all because when you're opening and in the Akashic records, it's like a shower of love, a shower of healing energy that's coming through all of us. So when I'm connecting with you, it's showering down through you, that healing energy. So hopefully this is making your heart feel nice and balanced and with a regular beat. But also those that are listening, when you're listening, you're connecting, whether you're listening in the future it doesn't matter. It's all happening right now. So it's showering down on you. And just even after this is over, if you just kind of want to sit in the quietness and feel the energy of the Akashic records just showering over you, I feel like if you are kind of in a stillness, you'll probably start to feel that tingle of that healing energy.
So let's just sit in that stillness for a few minutes with this beautiful music and go inside. Just hear and feel and sense what comes up for you. And enjoy the journey.